All right, welcome to my first video. And I'm not really sure what my first video should be, but it will be this. So the I'm explaining too much. All right, welcome to my channel. My name is Quenisha, and I am the host of Be a Better Baddie and the podcast Be a Better Baddie. And I am here to bring my podcast to YouTube. For today, we're going to be talking about how most of us are actually really, really afraid of success. But before I get into that, and I will be reading from my phone, really, before I get into that, just a little introduction about myself. So, my name is Quenisha. I'm in love with personal development, self-development, self-help, all the things. And the name of my podcast is Be a Better Baddie because I believe that all of us are baddies. We just haven't really all tapped into our full potential. So we can all become better baddies. So, if you like what you hear so far, or if any point you like what you hear, just be sure to subscribe, like the video, and I'll have more coming. With this episode, I do want you to think about like what exactly is the thing preventing you from achieving your goals. So think about it. You can write it down, any roadblocks that it might be. And I am willing to bet that the majority of your problems all lead back to you. I am willing to bet that. And you can fix these problems, and doing so will obviously greatly improve your life because they are all within your control, more than likely. More than likely. So, at the root of it, and we'll get to this, at the root of it all is that you are afraid of success. That is the only reason why you haven't really taken that next step or moved forward in your life. Some of you are probably thinking, not me. I love success. I want success. Bring it on. But a lot of you aren't really willing to do the things that you need to do to be successful. And I don't want you to just think about success as the end product. I want to challenge you to think about success as the entire process of getting there. So a lot of us want to really go to the next level, elevate to the next level, but we don't want to change our mindset. We don't want to spend our time differently. We don't want to join a new group. We don't want to hang out with new people in general. We don't want to walk the new walk and talk the new talk because you have to become a new version of yourself. You have to shed your old layers essentially to become the new version of you. And that exactly is what you are afraid of doing. And that's why you're afraid of success. So, we are going to basically talk about how you can get out of your own way. And I mean, I've been in my own way multiple times. I'm in my way right now, right? So, me making this YouTube video is me getting out of my way. So, I say all the time, I'm ready to become a full time podcaster, content creator, life coach, speaker, author, curator, event planner, you name it all. But I also don't put my all my effort into doing all those things, right? Sometimes I'm just like, I don't feel like it, or maybe I shouldn't do this. I get in my own way a lot of the time as well. So, you are not alone. So, let's talk about how to actually get out of your own way and become unafraid of success. Number one, studying other people. So sometimes we're unsure of our own action plan, unsure of the path that we're actually taking. So it helps to look to other people. If you don't have an official mentor, you just create a mentor, essentially. You study other people. So there's not a day that goes by when I'm not stalking a podcaster that has similar content as me, a content creator that's making content, a life coach's LinkedIn to see like what that person has done to get to where they are, because they're doing the things that I want to do. And if I feel like they're doing them well, then I'm going to try to see what path they are on and see how I can implement that into my own life. So the purpose of their looking at their journeys is just to get a clue on the direction that you should be heading in, not to copy and paste, because if you copy and paste it, it's not going to feel authentic to you and it probably will not happen, right? So, once you've looked at that, like really studied other people's journeys who you want to be like, you can do one or two things. And again, it is up to you, it's your mindset. You can, one, say, hmm, this is actually attainable. Like, I actually just need to do A, B, and C, and it's lined out for me. I was already doing this. I was already thinking about it. It can be like that sense of confirmation you needed to say you are moving in the right direction. Or you can feel defeated because you can see all the things that you have to do and say, that's a lot of stuff. I don't really know if I could do it. So honestly, the perspective is up to you. It's your mindset. You have to change which mindset you want to adapt. Second thing is to write down every single thing you need to achieve your goal. I'm constantly writing things down. Like, I'm always writing, writing. Brainstorming sessions are what I live by because I have so many things living in my brain. And if I don't get them out, they will never get out. So, brain dump every single thing possible that you want to achieve, what you feel like you need to do to achieve, except just brain dump everything. And the most important thing in brain dumping or brainstorming is not to assign any value to any of your ideas. So, the reason you don't want to do this is because if you think of something and you say, oh, this was a really good idea, you may become stuck on that idea, or you may want to write down other ideas that are similar to that. On the other hand, if you write down something, you're like, this actually kind of stupid, you may then get stuck. It's going to basically mess up your creative process and you won't keep brainstorming, right? You want to continue to just write down every single thing in your brain so that you can get it out, because you want to just get it out, be creative as possible, and then evaluate them at the end. Then go through everything. Oh, I said I want to achieve this. Like, this is doable. I can do this. This makes sense. I said I want to do this. Why? This doesn't even align with who I am as a person. Like, this was probably just in my brain, but you got it out. Getting things out of your brain really helps. Do that. Number 3, I will say, this is a new one for me, and I've been liking it so far. So I read the book, The 12-Week Year, before. Well, not before, recently. I just read it. And it really changed my mind on some things. So let me just read a statistic. But basically, if you don't know what the 12-week year is, it's just you thinking of your year in terms of 12 weeks instead of 12 months. Because one, like, why should we set like 12 months aside to work on a goal when most of the time we're going to procrastinate and probably not end up doing it? That's me. I have set many a goals that I was supposed to achieve by the end of the year, and I did not end up doing them. I forgot about them. I plateaued, and it was just case closed, right? So I want to end this vicious cycle, and this is my first time doing a 12-week year, and I like it way better because I'm like, oh, it's coming to a close. Like, I have to do these things because we tend to achieve things with deadlines. That's just who we are based off our nature. We like deadlines, we work with them, and if a deadline is there, we're going to do it. So, quick statistic: of those who make New Year's resolutions, after 1 week, 75% are still successful in keeping it. After 2 weeks, the number drops to 71%. After 1 month, the number drops again to 64%. And after 6 months, 46% of those people who make a resolution are still successful in keeping it. So that's crazy to me that, like, we all make these goals and like we know that we want to work on them, but we also know that life will be life. You will get caught up in your same habits and your routines unless you are actively working to change it. And having an accountability buddy or group really helps because you have people always saying, did you do this? So I'm always a fan of those, but the 12-month thing, I don't think I'm a fan of it anymore. So breaking it down, whether you think about it in 12 weeks or 3 months, like just setting goals per quarter versus per annual year. Okay. But I've noticed immediate changes to my goal setting process because now there's a greater sense of urgency to achieve my goals. So again, we're motivated by the deadline. So right now, my year is ending January 12th. So from right now, I have about 3 weeks to achieve my goals versus when you have 3 months, right? You're kind of like, I could just start my business in 2 months. I still have time. No, you do not have time. So Think about time differently. I highly recommend you guys read that book because it really it's great. It's great. So the way you think about it is 1 year is 12 weeks, 1 month is 1 week, and a week is a day. So it really changes the way you even think about time and makes you want to be more intentional with the way you spend your time. Um Next, number 4 is to change your surroundings. You can interpret this one in two ways. I'm going to talk about the two ways that I interpreted when I thought about it. But again, take what you need from it. So this could be you changing the people that you actually surround yourself with, the people you surround yourself with, or your actual environment. I recently ended up on feng shui TikTok, and I I don't even have the type of house they're talking about. Like they say when you come in, like do you have a window I don't have that, but I still try to find any way to make my house fit a proper feng shui. So I do that. And even though I don't have the best knowledge of feng shui, whenever I do feel like in a rut or in a funk or something, I will move furniture around, like rearrange my whole bedroom, rearrange my living room. Like I will do that because I need to create a new space because I feel stagnant in my old space. I'll get rid of some stuff, I'll decorate a bit, go pick up some things. So this really helps me a lot. Um but let's talk about the people you surround yourself with. So I think we've all heard the saying, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. I agree with that statement to a certain extent because it does ignore the fact that we are individuals and we have our own conscience. So, I mean, if your core group, of course, are drug addicts, I'm assuming at one point you may say, I'll try a little drug. You may, because that's what your friends do. And if that's who you're surrounding yourself with, it makes sense. But you also may not. You also may not. Ideally, you surround yourself with people who have traits that you admire, right? Because that would encourage you to mirror those things that you admire. I know that it's very hard to make friends as an adult. So it's kind of like you probably have people around you and you don't exactly feel like they are a reflection of you or you are a reflection of them, etc. But I challenge you to not only just think about friends, think about everybody, like who you surround yourself with. Like most of us spend most of our time at work. Think about who you surround yourself with at work and what you talk about and how you even approach that. It's a very small shift. Like, of course, I'm not going to tell you this is not the this is how you make new friends as an adult episode because I understand how hard that is. But that is one thing that you can control. That's one thing, an action item that you can actually do. Don't make me mad, Eric. Now, for the other interpretation of that statement, rearranging your physical space. Again, basically like feng shui. And I found a quote from Psychology Today that I feel sums this up perfectly. An impact of the environment, whether an imprint or a removal, lifts mood, provides concrete satisfaction, and instills a sense of effectiveness. Inner and outer harmony happen when pieces are placed in a way that makes sense for you. Think about feng shui. What feng shui decorating is means is that you create an environment for the best energy to support the specific activity or activities intended for that space. So, your dining room, whatever it's intended for, do you have it set up for that? My dining room, personally, me, it's not really set up for dining. It's mostly for me to work from. So making sure that I do have it set up so that I can work from there when I need to. Um, and then number 5, this is the last way that you can take charge to change your life and not be afraid of success and be successful. Quiet your inner critic. All of us have this little voice inside of us, and we have a lot of voices in our heads. Let's start there. We all have a lot of voices in our heads, not like that, but we do. And most of the time our critic is the loudest. So your inner critic is the voice that triggers the self-doubt, that judges you, that sometimes demeans your efforts. And ultimately your inner critic is going to negatively impact your self-esteem. As humans, we pay more attention to negativity because we have a bias to do so. But we must quiet Miss Inner Critic, okay? Because she cannot be the loudest one. So I found a really good exercise that has helped me with that. So think about a person in your life, any aspect of your life, that whenever they talk, you roll your eyes at them. Like people aren't listening to them because it's like what you're saying is utterly ridiculous right now. It makes no sense. I don't understand why you're talking. You have nothing to contribute to this conversation. That's your inner critic. Imagine that personality. Now, you can either name your inner critic after that person or you can give it its own name, right? Give it its own name because it's not you. It's some outside entity, right? That is trying to destroy you, but it's inside of you. It's inside of you. And in a way, your inner critic does think it's saving you, right? It's saving you from danger. It's like playing devil's advocate. Like, have you thought about this yet? Because this doesn't seem all the way straight. Like, are you sure you want to do this? So, your inner critic sometimes doesn't necessarily have the worst intentions, but it does have the worst impact on you. So, assign that personality to your inner critic and give her a name. Mine's a her because I'm a her, so mine's a her, and she just talks a lot. So sometimes you just have to listen to it and say that makes zero sense. That makes absolutely no sense. So there we have it. 5 ways to basically get out of your own way and help you stop being afraid of success. Everything that I have discussed will be linked in the comment section, I think. I don't know. The box underneath there will be commented. It will be left there. So thank you so much for tuning in and make sure you subscribe so you can get more content. Bye.